One of my co-workers moved this young lady into his house. For about the first 2 or 3 weeks, he coming to work talking about he having the time of his life. They in there drinking, partying, smoking, sexing. I mean, they just living life to the fullest. He coming to work looking like his eyes red, he tired. He like, man, we are balling in the house for the first 3 weeks. Then about I don't know, let's say in the middle of the third week, he said he came home from work. And the young lady said, you know, you left about 2 or 3 dishes in the sink. And I need you to get in there right now and wash those dishes. Okay. And it could seem like a reasonable request. And his response was, hey, I just got home from work. I'm a little bit tired. I'll take care of that later. And she was like, nah, I've been looking at them dishes all day. You need to get in there and handle that right now. So now they're looking at her like, hold up, you serious? And let me say this. If you had leverage, let's say you and that person bought this place together and your name was on a rental app or your name was on the deed or you were paying toward the bills, then you could possibly come at somebody like that. I'm not saying they're going to get in there and wash the dishes right now, but you have leverage. You can say these things and not worried about getting tossed out. But the problem was the young lady had no leverage. Name wasn't on the deed. Name wasn't on the rental app. And his response was, you know, in life, there are roles that we play. He said, in this his situation, my role is to pay all the bills, make sure utilities taken care of, make sure that TV come on, make sure you got cable, make sure we got food in the refrigerator, make sure that the maintenance people coming out here cutting the grass. And your role is cooking, cleaning, and bedroom fun, and a healthy dose of it. And her response after hearing that was like, oh nah, I've been living in here with you for like 2 or 3 weeks. This is my house too. Which again might have been a reasonable response if you all had got that house together. If your name was on the rental app. If your name was on the deed. But when you got no leverage at all, you can't really be calling no shots or making too much noise. When you got no leverage at all, you like a chihuahua barking at a pit bull. I'm going to say it again. When the other person got all the leverage, you are like a chihuahua barking at a pit bull. So they going back and forth. And she telling him that no, you need to get in there and do them dishes. Well, this conversation gets heated after a while. And he like, you know what? I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed you for these 3 weeks. But I think this has came to an end. And she refused to leave. Was talking about she had been living there 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Fast forward. A few minutes later, the police was at the spot. And yes, the young lady had to leave because her name wasn't on any of the paperwork. and she forgot that she was a visitor with no leverage. Make a long story short, if you don't have no leverage, stay in your lane. But on to a different story. Had a homie, him and his wife. They married. Relationship was taking a downward spiral, and they were talking about going to counseling. And they think about going to counseling. And he asked me, well, what do you think? I said, well, I'll tell you what. Before you spend a whole lot of money and time, I said there's probably one question you need to ask. He was like, what? I said, you just need to ask, does she want to be in a relationship? I think that's the most important question you might want to ask anybody that you might be dating, married to, or whatever. Do you actually still want to be into the relationship? And when you ask that question, that's where you actually need to be quiet and listen. And if they tell you, of course, I want this to work, then go to counseling. But if they tell you, I ain't really feeling this, my heart ain't in this no more, I'm done with this situation. At that point, you got to respect the other person's wishes, even though it's nothing you want to hear. You have got to respect the other person's wishes, because if they had mentally checked out, you cannot coerce, you cannot force, you can't buy your way into this. Or maybe you can buy your way into it for a little while, but eventually it's headed into the trash can, because for a relationship to work, you need both parties to want it to work. So again, if you don't shake your grounds with anybody, just ask, do they still want to be in this situation? Listen, wait for the answer. Again, if they say yes, go to counseling, move forward. Maybe you can work it out. But if they say no, respect that other person's wishes, even though it's not what you want to hear, and move forward. And I know it's ugly and I know it hurt, but sometimes you just got to let things go if the other person don't want it. Look here, y'all. My name is Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Money Hungry. That's Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Money Hungry. Peace, love, happiness. I'm out.